Living is crazy, so blood and tears.
I was in the process of moving back to Maine from Rhode Island, and that morning I had a little funny birthday party in a park and was asked to play a featured set in an open mic. I was like, okay, it's my birthday, I'll do that. I was situating on a tall stool, and this person I didn't know was kind of fumbling through the crowd and then staring at me so intensely that I begin in my whatever shyness to quake inside, like I'm like kind of shaking from how intensely he's staring at me. And then I begin to sing. Then it gets even more intense. Then I'm singing a song, an a cappella song about my friend who had passed, and he's weeping. And I'm realizing that I'm kind of weeping because he's really receiving and reflecting back to me, and I'm remembering. And so in a way there's three of us. There's me and Mordechai in this song, and we're really meeting there, and I'm realizing how significant this moment is. And I'm legitimately scared.
Before meeting Meghan, without really like writing down the name of every band I was in, probably about a dozen. Playing bass in any kind of rock band is a pretty thankless job. It can definitely get kind of depressing, and I hit the wall with it. So I was playing guitar and just trying to write, and I heard Meghan play, and it was like, boom, I'm back. Like, she was making music that for the first time in years I could hear how my own voice could fit into it. And I went out the next day and I got a bass and I pulled the frets out of it and started working on the tunes.
Something that I've learned through being with Mordechai, and something that has been reflected to me, is the kind of urgency in which I create. The feeling of how when anything comes out, I'm doing a daily painting project. And it started in November of 2015, and the daily painting practice has been really helpful for me because it's a 6x8 piece of mixed media paper, which is totally unintimidating to try something that I might fail at, and I feel like I fail often, and I'm fine with that. This whole process of sharing it even is really sharing that my conversation around painting is growing and evolving, and that it's not necessarily just about making good art. It's not really about good art. It's just making, and that making is enough. Reinstating the responsibility and birthright of creativity is really important at this time. Without creativity, we are just technicians. We're just going along and calculating and surviving, and we're not communicating. That all communicating, we're making conversation, making beds, making love, making food. We're making, we're makers. We make all the time.
It's not about us performing and an audience witnessing. It's about this alchemy that happens when people share themselves through music, and it completely informs what the musicians are doing. We don't get to that place playing by ourselves. That place doesn't exist playing without people. If we could have a show and there were, 10, 20, 50, 100 people there, and everybody had an instrument and we could all play together, it would be just as good. But that's just unrealistic. I mean, it's a lot of rehearsal.
There are not a lot of hard objects in my mind. Like, there's not a lot of things that I'm like, yeah, I know things about this. I don't really feel like I know about anything, which maybe I've been harsh with myself in the past, but actually now I'm realizing I appreciate this part of me, which is, it's about presence and a level of trust and being able to show up and translate. I think a way that things are fortified is through witness. That moment, that spontaneous generative moment where people are collaborating and seeing and witnessing and the experience that's made in that moment becomes its own art. It becomes its own expression, its own form. And that kind of exchange is really, I think that's really what I would say my life is about. It's either bearing witness or generating something that folks can participate in, and that participation is really kind of where it's at.